Okay, during the last video, when I gave you the answers, I noticed in the books they actually do have a couple problems where you have to multiply both of them to get to be able to do the elimination. So in the book here on page 544, there's this two, number 8 and 9, where you got to multiply both of them by something. So I'm going to do a couple examples of those in this video. I'm kind of putting this one in. So this one here, I'm going to do this one first from page 544. It's number 8. You can see here, you can't easily multiply one equation to cancel out the other. And remember, this is only one way of doing it. I might do substitution, might end up being easier, or just doing the graphing might be easier. Okay, so that's why they give you more than one way. But this one here, you can see here, if I go 3 and 5, if I can make this 15 and this a negative 15, they will eliminate the y's. So to make this a 15, I got to multiply all this by 5. And to make this 15, I have to, negative 15, I have to multiply this by 3. So here, if I go 6 times 5, that would be 30x, plus 5 times 3y, that would be 15y, equals 5 times negative 24, that'd be negative 120. Okay, so that would be that one. But then this one, to get this to a negative 15, I have to multiply the whole thing by 3. So here, 3 times 7, that would be positive 21x, minus 3 times 5y, that would be negative 15y, equals 3 times 6 is 18. Yep, so 18. So now these two I can are opposite to each other, so I can eliminate them. They can be canceled out. So 30x plus 21x, that would be 40, no, that would be 51x. And then 15y minus 15y, they eliminate each other. I end up with negative 20. 120 plus 18, that would be negative 102. So now I got to find 51 times something to equal negative 102. Well, you might see that would be a negative 2 times 51. Or if you stay with the system here, whoops, don't need the x. Opposite of multiplying is dividing. So 100 and negative 102 divided by 51 would be a negative 2. So the x will equal negative 2. So now I know the x, now I can put in either of the original equations or even one of these and to find the y. So I'm going to go with the first one. I have 6, can you still see it? Let me move it up right there. 6 times x, well the x is now negative 2 plus 3y equals negative 24. So 6 times negative 2 is negative 12 plus 3y equals negative 24. So now isolate the y. So positive 12, positive 12. So that eliminates them. And I end up with 3y equals negative 12. Then 3 times something equals negative 12, well, negative 4, but stay with the opposites. Now you can see why less than 59 is so important. Kind of the base behind algebra, negative 4. So the answer is these two lines, the point they will cross is the x. Remember, x is first and the y, so the x will be negative 2 and the y will be negative 4. If it was on a graph that crossed, that x would be negative 2. It was like this, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 down. That would be the point where the two lines will cross. All right? So that's how you do those. One more. What the heck? Let's try this one. How I worked it out. Well, I started to. You can see here. I looked at it, 9 and 8, that's kind of, well, right here, it's just like the last one, 3 and 5, 5 and 3. So if I make one a positive 15 and I multiply it by negative 5, make this a negative 15, that will cancel the x's out. So let's see here, if I go 3 times 5, that would be 15 x, and then 3 times 9 is 3 times 9 is 27, so that'll be 27. Y equals negative 3 times a negative 5 is 15. Negative 15. And then this one, negative 5 times positive 3x will be a negative 15x. So those two will eliminate. And then negative 5 times a negative 8y, that'll be a positive 40y, equals negative 15 times a negative 3, that'll be a positive 15. Okay, so now these two will eliminate. So that'll be 0, and I got 27y plus 40y, that'll be 67y equals, I got 0. Well, keep this 0, I got 27y, and remember, this is from way back in the fundamentals. 67 times any 0 equals 0. Or if I go 67, divide this side by 67. So 0 divided by 6 is 0 divided by any number is going to end up being 0. So y would equal 0. Okay? So 0 would be the spot for y. So what will be the x? Well, now that I know 0 is the spot, then I can put in for either one. I'm going to go 5x. I'm going to use this first one. 5x plus 9 times 0 equals negative 5. Well, that'll be 5x. 9 times 0 is 0. So that's going to be negative 5. So 5 times what equals negative 5? Well, that'll be negative 1. If I do it this way, x equals negative 1. So here the x will be negative 1 and the y will be 0. Okay, so I started making the video for the answers, which will be the last video, and then I saw that there's a couple of these on there. So you could see here, number 16, you could do 10, you can multiply this one by 2 and this one by negative 5, or you could do like this one here, one a positive 3 and one negative 5, or negative 3 and negative 5. There's more than one way. There's usually always more than one way. Okay, so those are practice. That one's pretty big. All right, well, I'll leave it at that. I hope this helps. And remember, there's more than one way. You got 62 where you do it by graphing, 63 where you do it by substitution. It's kind of my favorite. And then you got 63, which is or 64, I mean. 62 is by graphing, 63 by substitution, and then 64 by elimination. But again, you look at them, sometimes it's like, oh, I can eliminate that one, I'm going to use that one. Or if they're real simple, let me just try graphing them. So it's your choice. And I think that's also in the book. I think the last I don't see it. I thought I saw some problems where they gave you some problems. Maybe it was a worksheet that I saw where they gave you some problems and they asked you, how would you solve it? Which method would you use? Okay. Hope this is helpful. Now the next video will be the answers, and I'll see you next time.